This is problem number 3 for assessment number 5. Write the given expression in the form f of x equals a x minus h squared plus k. Identify the vertex. In this problem, they've got a quadratic, and they want you to write it in the form of vertex form. In order to write it into vertex form, we're going to need to complete the square. So how do we complete the square? Well, the first thing we want to do is we want to divide the middle term by 2 and then square that term. But because we have a leading coefficient of 4, I'm going to divide the 4 out first. So let's go ahead and divide each term by 4 so that we end up with a value of 1. So we get f of x over 4 equals, when we divide this, we end up with x squared minus 8x minus 1/4. So now we're going to complete the square. And in order to complete the square, we're going to take negative 8, we're going to divide it by 2, and we're going to square it. And when we take negative 8 divided by 2, we get negative 4 squared, which is 16. So 16 is what we're going to add and subtract to the right side of this equation. So we end up with f of x over 4 equals x squared minus 8x plus 16 minus 1/4, and then minus 16 out here. Now this is a perfect square trinomial, right, where I could break this down to a perfect square, which is what I need for vertex form. And I know what the factor that I need to use is because I just took negative 8, which was the middle term, and divided by 2. So negative 4 is that term that when you add it to itself gives you negative 8. Right? Negative 4 plus negative 4 is negative 8. And when you multiply it times itself, gives you 16. So I'm going to write this now as x minus 4 squared. And then I have minus 1/4 and minus, I can make 16 with a common denominator of 4. So let's see, that'd be 64 over 4. So this is f of x over 4 equals this piece right here. We're almost to vertex form. All we need to do is combine that term at the end. So we get x minus 2 or x minus 4 squared minus 65 over 4. And last step is we need to get that leading coefficient back. We had a leading coefficient of 4. So we multiply the whole equation by 4. And when we do that, we end up with f of x, this cancels, equals, I multiply this by 4, I get 4 out front, 4x minus 4 squared. When I multiply this term by 4, that just gives me negative 65 because the 4's cancel. So this is the vertex form. They ask us for the vertex. So the vertex is HK in the formula for vertex form. So vertex is HK. Notice that H is negative in the equation, so whatever I have written in here, I have to use the opposite sign. So because it says negative 4, I'm going to use the opposite sign. The vertex is actually 4, comma, negative 65.